Hello, this is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. I am your host of this motivational and inspirational podcast. And today I want to talk about a strange dream that I have or had. I was dreaming that bees were all around me. They never stung me, they never got near me, they never, proceeded to attack me or cause any threat to me, but they were just flying around. And I found it very curious because I'm like, okay, Lord, I remember the first time I had a dream about onions and garlic. Now I'm having dreams about bees, bees flying around me, and but they never did any harm to me. They never, caused any threat to me. So I'm like, okay, what is bees or what do bees have to do with me? Why are they around me? And so I began reading and researching as I normally do, and I wanted to see if there was any association with um, the Bible as far as a bee. And it says, what does bees symbolize in the Bible? And bees hold a special significance in the Christian religion as they manifest the characteristics of Jesus: strength, perseverance, and wisdom. In Christian tradition, the bee is even regarded as an emblem of Jesus Christ himself. So, very unknown. I didn't know that. This is something that I never would have even considered to even associate with Christ. Now it said, what does honey represent spiritually? It is symbolic of fertility, community, prosperity, diligence, and work ethic. Some cultures view bees as messengers of God. Their honey has also been compared to the nectar of the gods, thus elevating bees to a status of royalty. Did not know that. Very interesting to learn. And so, you know, even if a bee was flying around me or bees were flying around me, they never posed any threat to me in this dream. Also, I came across what is the meaning of a bee in Hebrew. In Hebrew, it's translated with Deborah, which is the same of two important women: the nurse of the matriarch, Rebecca, and the prophetess, Deborah. Deborah was the fourth judge of pre-monarchic Israel and the only woman among them. And so, okay, very, very interesting. And so, what I am doing, I'm trying to understand the dreams that I'm having. If you remember in the Bible, there was a king who was having dreams, and he was asking his sorcerers, and he was asking his, different ones to interpret these dreams. And he told them that he will give them the finest clothing, all the jewels, everything. He was promising them all of these things if they can determine what their dreams was all about. Well, the trick was to this is that they had to not only tell him the dream, but they had to interpret it as well, and they failed at that he sought to kill them, that if they weren't able to do so, that they would sought to kill them. And so that is a very interesting, very vital thing, because if I remember correctly, I'm trying to make sure that I call the right prophet's name, but it was a prophet who was able to tell this king about his dreams. Not only what the dream was about, but about what he dreamed. And this is very important to me because it this is not the first time I've been having dreams, but this really got my attention in regards to what is this dream meaning? Why am I having this dream? Then I also, in this same dream or in this same vision or however we want to put this, there was a football player, a very well wide receiver that I also had in this dream, and this was really weird because it is important for us to know what it's all about. And it's not one of those dreams that, ooh, you thinking of this spicy, this and that. No, it's not one of those type of dreams. This young man, and I have to say he's a young man because he's about my son's age, my oldest son's age. And so I do not want to make this out to be something that is not ungodly. It is not ungodly. But this young man, I saw him. Now, everybody else saw him and they called out his name. And, he came in, he's dressed, he has this beautiful smile, and he had on these dark sunglasses. And he walked in, he was dressed nice and everything. And, people were calling out his name and, asking for autographs, asking to take pictures with him and just different things like that. But he walked up to me and he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. All he did was reached out to me and he hugged me. And he gave me a hug like he knew I needed it. And I just broke, it's like my heart melted. I just started crying because I did not expect that from him. Because he is very, now to me, he's an attractive man. He is. Very attractive man. And he's very well known for being one of the best wide receivers of all times. He's not playing as of right now. I believe he technically had retired. But at any event, he walked up to me and he just gave me a hug. And I thought that when he was hugging me like a big sister. He was hugging me like a friend or even like a mother, a child would get. But it was like it was all in one. And I was trying to figure out, okay, Lord, I know that you don't have anything about hugs from an athlete, but I can look up what hugs can signify in the Bible. And so, of course, I looked up hugs. I put a hug in there. And it said, what does God say about affection? Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. And these three remain: faith, hope, and love. So I said, okay, all right, that makes sense. Then it's asked the questions, what is a holy kiss? And I do remember in this dream, he did kiss me on the cheek. He gave me a firm hug, not too tight, but a secured hug. And he gave me a kiss on the cheek. And it said a holy kiss implied full acceptance. In the New Testament times, a kiss on the cheek was used for greeting and implied friendship and acceptance. A kiss of greeting between Christians implied that no elite group existed and that all were equally loved and accepted, not only by God, but by one another. Very, very insightful, because I don't want anybody to think that I am lusting after this young man. No, I wasn't. When I went to bed last night, I was listening to some stories about a minister or head of a church had having to step down from his position because of some text messaging or doing Instagram conversations with a young lady that they felt was not appropriate for the church. That's all that I went to sleep, listening to what's going on in the Christian world. That's basically what I'm doing. I am not doing anything to try to poke fun, make judgment, do, anything of that nature. I just want to stay knowledgeable, and I wanted to see, when people say things, I want to line it up with the word of God. I want it to be holy and true. And so I don't want anybody to think that this was any type of romantic or sexual. It didn't have anything to do that with that. It has something to do with him hugging me, like I said, maybe like a big sister, maybe like a mother, maybe like a best friend, but it was nothing romantic about it. It was truly sincere. And I remember when he hugged me, he didn't want to let go. It was like God was had touched him to say, "No, I want you to hold her. I want you to embrace her. I want you to just hold her because she needs this. She needs this. And she needs to know that this is from me, that this is my arms being embraced around her." And he didn't let go. When that people kind of got jealous, some was kind of upset, like, what is going on between them? He's just hugging her like he hadn't seen her for a long time, like that's a relative or something. That's how they were making their comments. And I didn't know, he didn't know me from Adam. I only knew him because he played football. And that's how I knew him. And it was so innocent. I mean, it was in front of everybody. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't it wasn't distasteful, but honeybees and this athlete. And I'm like, okay, God, now can you put this together for me? Because I'm not understanding. And in due season, God would allow me to interpret that, but maybe just not right now. Maybe it's not a thing where I can I can really put it together. Maybe at some point I will be able to, but just not right now. Daniel was one of those that was able to interpret dreams. He was one of those ones that he could tell the king what was going on, what the prophecy, what the dream was, what the dream was, what the dream was about. And he was astonished. The king was very astonished with what he was being told. And there are other prophets in the Bible that were able to interpret dreams. Now, in Genesis 40 and 8, it states, "And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream. We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you." So again, Joseph was, and he's one of the children of Jacob, which is also known children of Israel. He was able to interpret dreams. And so he said, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray thee." In other words, I'm going to ask God for the interpretation of that dream. And so again, this has been mind boggling for me. At first, I wasn't going to talk about it because I never want anybody to think that I'm having ungodly or sinful dreams. I am not. This is very honest, very loving, very godly type of dream. And God said, no, you can talk about it, because the way that the dream was exposed, He is showing you my love for you. In other words, my love was in His arms. My embrace was in His arms. My, the way I love you, and the way that I care for you, it was in His arms. And His embrace was not of any type of sexual, because I do not want anybody to hang something on His coat rack that was not there. I don't want to embarrass Him. I don't want to disgrace Him. I do not want to embarrass Him or put something out there that was not true. I do not want to defame His character. That is why I'm not calling His name. That is why I'm not giving any hints of what game or where he used to play, who he used to play for, because I am not going to embarrass him like that. I am not going to disgrace or defame him like that, because that is not what it's about at all. So I just want to stress that, because it's important that people's character stay intact, especially when it's someone else talking about another individual. I want it to be tasteful, I want it to be godly, and I want it to be true. And I do not want to put any coat on his coat rack that does not belong there. Okay? And it is all about dreams with me. This is what this is all about, is about understanding and interpreting dreams that I have quite frequently. A lot of them are not real big or real where it's like it gets my attention, where I talk about it. I could have a dream about being outside and somebody is driving through the neighborhood, and they seem happy. It's nothing, too outlandish about that, because there are people that do drive this through this neighborhood, and they do have they happy faces, and they jamming or speeding through the neighborhood or whatever. So that's nothing really big to talk about. But when you're talking about bees, and you're surrounded by bees, but they never sting you, they never bother you, they don't have any regards of ever attacking you, they just kind of stay their distance. It becomes unusual. And then to have a dream about a football player that do not know me from Adam, don't know anything about me. I only know of him because he did play football. And he walked up to me, and he passed a lot of people. You know how young ladies are, they yelp. Oh, that's so and so. Oh, that's so and so. Oh, I gotta go and visit this person. Or I'm gonna ask for his autograph. Or I'm gonna ask him to take a picture with me. Or this, that. But he just walked up to me and never said a word. He just reached out and gave me a hug. And it was an embrace like I can never describe. It was like the brother that I lost due to a shooting, that he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's the way, because his mother had called him the night before and told him he needed to come home, because he needed, and he didn't come home, and that next morning he was gone. His mother probably knew something was going to happen, and she wanted him to come home. And of course, when you get to be about 60 some years old, you don't want your mama telling you to come home. That I'm grown, I can do whatever I want to do. And then that cost him his life. Then I had a cousin who passed away, unfortunately, the same year that my dad had passed away. My dad passed in April, and then my cousin passed, and I believe it was late September, early October when he passed away. And of that same year, he was actually the cousin who came to see my dad the day before he died. And then here it is, 5 months later, he's gone. And it reminded me of all the people that I didn't get to hug again, because my brother was a hugger. Oh my goodness. He every time he found me, it's like no matter what job I had, he always found me. And when he found me, he always gave me a kiss on the cheek and a great big hug. And he gave some really good hugs too. Some of those hugs you just want to just stay there because it made you feel so secure. And you think about all those loved ones you can't hug anymore. You know what I'm saying? You think, and then, of course, my uncle had passed away earlier, which was my dad's brother, who passed away earlier in the year. And my cousins won't be able to give him hugs, and his grandkids and his great grandkids and his great great grandkids. They won't be able to give him hugs like they used to be able to when he was here. So, you go back into your mind and ask, what is this telling me? What is this wanting to relate to me? Why am I having these dreams? And I may not understand right now. I can only look at the biblical part of it and be able to relate things to what it was dreaming, like the bee, and then like hugs, like that hug and that kiss that he gave me on my cheek, and that hug, that embrace that was so secured and so strong, but it didn't hurt. It was like it relieved a lot of pressure, it relieved a lot of stress, a lot of emptiness that I felt. That's the way I felt when he hugged me. And then when we finally when he finally let me go, he never said anything. That was the beautiful thing about, he never said a word. He just walked up to me, he hugged me. I guess it might have been 5 minutes, it may have been 10 minutes. I really don't know how long it was. But then he went and he did his shopping, and people were bringing stuff up to the counters, and they were putting stuff. It was like he was buying whatever. Before he had one or two items before he realized it. He had about 15, 20 items sitting up there where people was just casually putting stuff up there for him to pay for, because of course they knew he had the money to do it. But I looked back and I went on and I paid for whatever I had, and I was proceeding to leave. But there was a significance why that particular person, why did he do what he did? What was the significance of it? That is where I'm having issues. And again, like I said, I will pray to God about it. I will ask God about it. And when God lets me know what it is that He is wanting me to know about that dream, He'll let me know. But until then, I won't worry about it. But I just thought I wanted to share that with you, because if ever you find yourself dreaming about something, find where it's connected to the Bible. If it's connected to the Bible, in due season, God may open it up for you to understand it. If not, don't stress yourself out about it. Just lean on the Lord and just keep walking. And that's what I'm going to do. That even in due season, maybe the interpretation will come to light. I don't know. I could eventually meet this person. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But only God knows. But all in all, what we need to do Stay as godly as possible. Don't go off on the deep end and say, "Oh, I'm gonna meet this man and he gonna be in my life and we gonna he gonna." No, that's not what this is about. This is about understanding what God is trying to tell me. And sometimes He'll use things that we know or that we're familiar with, but we need to find the meaning of it and not blow it out of context and thinking that it's one thing and God meant something totally different. This is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. You have yourself a wonderful and blessed day.